So, what's wrong, Tone?
More of the same, Pat.
Tony.
Diggs, it's a new day.
Tone, it is a new
What's the
day.
saying? The more things change, the more they stay the same. Or the more things that don't change, they stay the same.
Yeah, they also say same shit, different toilet, which is what we are about to talk about right here, which is what has seemingly been the last 10 years of Mike Tomlin's regime as the head coach.
Whoa.
Now, we love Coach Tomlin.
Love him.
Coach Tomlin is actually the reason why I am in the NFL. Coach Tomlin led my pro day at West Virginia, and if it wasn't for him coming out to do that, none of the other scouts would have came out and got a chance to see the cannon. Okay. Now, I didn't always know where it was going, but some teams figured out maybe not a field goal kicker. Let's have this guy utilize the weapon that is it. Let's make him punt. Let's have him kick off. So I owe Mike Tomlin a lot. As somebody that was born and raised in Pittsburgh, I appreciate all the happiness that Mike Tomlin has delivered to Yinzers on a very regular basis. I also like the fact that the Pittsburgh Steelers go from Bill Cowher for 20 years into Mike Tomlin for 20 years. A nice little consistent kind of comfortable, let's not get too high on the highs, too low on the lows. But with everything that's taking place right now with this particular offense and this particular Steelers team, it feels as if Yinzers are getting to a point where it's like, hey, Tomlin, a lot of these stats that people have been pointing out for the last 6, 7, 8, 9 years are all coming to a point. Is it getting to a time where Yinzers are done with Coach Tomlin being the Pittsburgh Steelers coach? I ask you, Tone, because what were the stats that Darius Butler looked up himself?
Yeah,
Darius Butler looked these up himself. Sent them into the group this morning.
That is not one of my teams.
That
not
is
one of my 4 teams.
Zoom in on the bottom.
Somebody put this on Twitter.
Butch.
I just shared it with the chat. I did not. You guys would know how accurate these are.
So Darius J. Butler, obviously guest host here Monday through Wednesday, sends us in the group text. And all of this obviously goes through what has happened for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But if you look down at the bottom, the person who did this research had their punditry in there.
They did.
Mike, no losing seasons, Tomlin, which is an incredible feat.
Yes.
Has won a playoff game in just 4 of his 14 seasons as head coach. He won a Super Bowl with Bill Cowher's players. Okay, this isn't college, but got it. In his second season, and has since won 3 playoff games in the past 11 seasons versus A.J. McCarron, mad respect, welcome back to the Bengals, was great in the XFL. Matt Moore, okay, did his thing. And Alex Smith, who's incredible on TV. They need to give him a microphone a little bit more in what he's been able to accomplish. But these stats have been thrown in Steelers fans' faces for a long time because Steelers fans have backed Mike Tomlin almost blind support for Mike Tomlin because he will lead it. He is beloved in Pittsburgh. But now it feels like Pittsburghers and Yinzers are kind of starting to change a little bit on this thought. And Tone, you can tell the truth here.
I would say Yinzers are very, very fed up. Some Yinzers started this campaign a few years ago. A lot of us did not. And Mike, he got a lot of goodwill winning the first Super Bowl, winning a second Super Bowl, and then going to a third. But that was 2011, I believe, was the one against the Packers.
I was in my second year in the NFL.
Yeah, so it's been quite
I've since been nominated for the Hall of Fame.
It's been quite a long time
Like,
since
Super Bowl?
2011.
I didn't know you had 2.
Yeah, well, Tampa.
Oh, I'm as a Steelers head coach, 1-1, right? In Super Bowls.
Am I wrong?
Yeah, 1-1.
Yeah, Ben's 2-1.
He had one at Tampa,
Mike's
though.
1-1.
Won a Super Bowl at Tampa.
Yeah.
So he's 2-time
Ben's
Super Bowl
2-1.
champion.
So he bought a lot of goodwill early with that, and the teams were very, very good early on. And the offense was. We go back to that thing where they weren't winning Super Bowls, but at least when it was the Killer Bees with Ben and Le'Veon and AB and Marty B and all those boys, at least.
And Yinzers could talk shit.
Yeah, they're scoring a lot of points.
Yinzers love football. Pittsburgh is a die-hard football town. And being able to talk shit about your football team is a massive part of being a part of a football town.
Yeah.
New England is experiencing the downfalls of not having a team that you can just openly say, we're going to punch you in the mouth. We're going to beat you. The Steelers were that for a bit. But over the last, 5, 6 years, it has not been entertaining brand of football. No. It has not been successful football. And I don't think there's any expectations to go win a Super Bowl, even from the people in Pittsburgh. And now Mike Tomlin, after the game, is after just getting smoked by the Cowboys, which we all thought.
Not even the Cowboys. It was the Houston Texans with a rookie quarterback.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. That is 100% my fault.
Yeah,
Cowboys smoked the Patriots.
Patriots got killed.
Yeah, Texans absolutely killed the Pittsburgh Steelers on J.J. Watt, T.J. Watt, Mama Watt's birthday day.
Right.
He was asked about the offensive coordinator situation. This is what Mike Tomlin said immediately after the game about their incredibly lackluster performance against the Houston Texans.
Hell yeah, we got to make some changes, man. That was an ugly product we put out there today, and so we're not going to do the same things and hope for a different outcome. What those changes are, man, we'll put together a plan in preparation.
So that was about Matt Canada, the offensive coordinator. The question was asked because Yinzers have had it with Matt Canada. And if you look at Matt Canada, the offensive coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers, his track record of being an offensive coordinator, not just in the NFL, but in college, and maybe even in high school, he has been trash. He has not been good, not been creative, nothing. So that question was asked about Matt Canada, and someone goes, hell yeah, there's going to be changes. Well, today he further clarified what he meant by changes. In a news statement, Mike Tomlin has said, yeah, we're not changing the offense coordinator or any of the play calling responsibilities. Not at this juncture, no.
Ooh.
So look forward to more Matt Canada football coming right down the pipe in Pittsburgh. And this is something that whenever AJ first heard him say, hell yeah, we're making changes, AJ said, oh, he's talking about players right there. That is what Coach Tomlin's talking about, huh? He believes in Matt Canada, publicly has to believe in Matt Canada, or what do you think the thought is here for Mike Tomlin?
I mean, it was loud. Like we said earlier, if you're going to make a move with the OC, the time to do it was this past offseason. And I
told Adam Schefter to his face, I said, hey, is there any thought that Ben Roethlisberger is going to call plays for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Because he knows the offense. Right? Knows the offense, and he has a lot of opinions about the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we're very lucky to hear him on the footballing pod with him. Here's what Ben Roethlisberger broke down whenever it came to some of the offensive play calls and the decisions behind them on his podcast with Cuzzy from Pittsburgh.
It's okay. It may be all over the place, but it's going to end up being just a bunch of thoughts, both positive and negative on that particular play. Okay.
looks great.
I hated the play call.
Okay.
Probably 99.9% of Pittsburgh hated the play call.
100%.
When they came out, when they called timeout, I'm thinking to myself, okay, it's QB sneak, it's Naj up the middle because he's been running pretty hard, or if you really want to get creative with it, sell it like you're going to run it because everyone in the building thinks you're going to run it, and go with a real hard play action and take a shot up over top. We used to do that on fourth down a lot. I hit AB at times. I've hit Eli. I've hit almost every receiver. You have one guy go deep, one guy go across. The Raiders did it to us last week. 4th and 1, they hit Devontae Adams for a touchdown. Same thought. It's everyone's up in the line, everyone's playing run. Everyone's playing run, and that happens. And so I'm like, those are your options. It has to be those three things.
Yeah.
And they come out in shotgun, and I'm like, oh, this isn't like maybe they're gonna draw them off sides.
Sure.
Because you can always do that too.
Sure.
Or maybe they're gonna shift, do something. And they snap the ball, and I see they're running like a little choice route, and I'm just like, oh no! I don't believe it.
So that was on 4th and 1 when Kenny Pickett inevitably got hurt. We will run the play right now that he was describing, but it's very evident to me that he's paying attention, that he's still dialed in to the offense. He's still paying attention to what other teams are doing. Why not Ben Roethlisberger calling plays for the Pittsburgh Steelers, AJ Hawk?
I mean, I love the idea of it. In theory, it sounds amazing. I don't know how probable this is, but I would imagine if Tomlin was to do anything, there's somebody else on that staff that he would want to promote that he feels is next in line, right, to call the plays?
Which is how Tomlin has done it. That's how Canada got his job. That is literally – but Ben Roethlisberger is the only human. If you were to make an actual change, week 5, week 6 – instead of remember Jeff Saturday? We had a guy named Parks Frazier for the Indianapolis Colts calling plays because he was the only coach on the entire staff that even knew what the offensive play calls were called. So he has to call plays. He's 30-something years old, has never called plays before. Congratulations, you're an offense coordinator in the NFL right now. Only because he knew the plays. So it was like Jeff had to make that decision when he came in, week 9, week 10, whatever it was. Ben knows the plays.
Yep.
He's dialed in.
Yep.
He's loved in Pittsburgh. Feels like he has Kenny's best interest at heart because he loves Kenny. Didn't like Kenny at the beginning, I don't think.
No.
Classic Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah.
Didn't like him at the beginning. Has fallen in love. Is emotional still. You see him going, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Why not Ben Roethlisberger as OC for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Tone Diggs?
He knows the plays. He knows the players. I mean, if he doesn't come back and save the city at this point, he's kind of being selfish. If we're being honest,
Whoa.
okay? What are you enjoying your retirement, Ben? You only gave us 20 years, okay, of winning football.
He's not enjoying his retirement. He's stressing with every single call.
He is stressed with every. Yeah, you know what? I'd love it. Even if Ben thinks it's too much for his plate, him and Todd, if him and Haley would have come back and do it together, maybe.
So that'd be a whole new offense.
Cool.
Which, because the reality of the situation is this. You made your bed, now you got to sleep in it for the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? That's what people say. You can't put in a whole new offense after a week.
No.
That's going to be a tough thing to do. You would have to hire from within. But if we're hiring from within, we're still running the same plays that Matt Canada has. If Ben Roethlisberger, what's that?
Need some fresh blood.
Yeah.
Bring him in. And I mean, you go Big Ben, like you said, 20 year, 18, 19, however long you played. You know, half of that, he's pretty much been an OC at that point. You get to the line of scrimmage. I think you heard Peyton or somebody talking about how many different options those type of quarterbacks have when they get to the line of scrimmage. And just hearing them talk about that 4th and 1 situation, because it's crazy. Like when you're watching it, you know, even as a defender, it's like, I was thinking the same thing.
Shocking.
Why come out shotgun? Then you see the routes, and it's like, that one route has to win. Like that person has to win. And it's a choice route, so you don't necessarily know exactly where he's going to go based on the coverage. So it's tough. And I've been a victim, we've been a victim as a team, as that what he talked about, that hard play action sell on 4th and 1, and then that deep crosser. And
you got sucked up?
Yeah, you're going to get all your help inside is going to get
What's
sucked
going to
up.
happen?
Going to get sucked up.